absolutely amazing. I got some good sleep last night. I woke up super early, meditated, and I feel cleansed. I feel good. I feel amazing, and I hope you are feeling the same. First and foremost, let me just go ahead and let me go ahead and put on for my t-shirt of the day. Roxbury against gentrification. I love this shirt. If you've seen the shirt on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, because I did post it, one of the things that I would like to say is it is can be located at Everything is Real Barbershop in Roxbury on Dudley Street, next to the fire station. Everything is Real Barbershop. Roxbury against gentrification. Now, if you go into any of the spaces that I go into, this shirt causes a lot of stares. Be prepared. Not only this shirt, but the shirt that I wore yesterday, I am Roxbury with the 617 on my arm. Go ahead and put on for the city if you go out of town. And it is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you the amount of stares that I got yesterday being in Dudley for people that don't live in Dudley. So I want another t-shirt that says this is what Dudley looks like, or this is what Roxbury looks like, or this is what Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan looks like. I'm digressing. As far as news is concerned, Texas campus carry law has officially taken effect as of yesterday, allowing gun owners with concealed handgun licenses to carry their firearm into public university buildings, classrooms, and dorms in the state of Texas. The law, according to reports, takes effect on the 50th anniversary of the mass shooting at the anniversary of Texas Clock Tower. The law applies to anyone who holds a Texas handgun license. To do so, reports note, a person must be at least 21 or 18 in the military and would have to have had passed both classroom and gun range training courses. Restrictions are placed on convicted felons, people charged with felonies, and high-level misdemeanors, or people with a history of mental illness. Are you listening to me, baby? Are you listening to me? I want you to go back 2 years ago. Go back 2 years ago on Mixcloud, before we were Facebooking, before we were YouTubing, and go back and listen to me saying how of a slippery slope it is for you to take away guns from the mental health people when we know damn well that Nene, Shanae, Tyrone are taking their babies down to the office to go get that little Social Security check, putting them baby on pills as soon as they hit school, and then when they're an adult, they're labeled mental health and can't have a gun license. Be mindful of what you're setting your children up for, whether it's success, whether it's failure, and be mindful of the words coming out of your mouth, because the little check today could do some damage tomorrow. Amen? Ashe? Again, the restrictions are placed on convicted felons, people charged with felonies, high-level misdemeanors, or people with a history of mental illness. The rules for the new law may vary from campus to campus, as each school is required to work with its own terms. Reports use the University of Texas at Austin as an example, and reports state that teachers there are allowed to have their offices be a gun-free zone. So if you come into my office and I don't want your gun in my office, you got to go put that somewhere. Dorm residents are allowed to have their guns in common areas, but not in sleeping rooms where any storage of weapon is forbidden. So let's say I live on campus. Where exactly am I putting my gun? I think these are the things that people didn't really think about when they put these restrictions on. But according to reports, there is an exception on the room restriction for visiting family members who are licensed to carry. By contrast, at Texas A&M, guns are allowed in rooms, and teachers must get express permission from administrators before banning guns from their office. I'll leave that there, baby. Y'all better start paying attention, because I don't think y'all listening. In other news, shut down City Hall NYC. Protesters demand that New York Police Department Commissioner is fired. On Monday, about 100 Black Lives Matter activists gathered at City Hall in New York City before noon to hold protest all day, demanding that Mayor Bill de Blasio fire Police Commissioner Bill Bratton. We already know how we feel about Bill, right? Nicholas Hayward Sr. held a sign that read, "What can we expect from a cop who considers youth a disease?" Hayward's 13-year-old son was killed by police 22 years ago after holding a toy gun made out of plastic Commissioner William Bratton must be fired, he said. According to reports, the protesters were demanding to end a broken window policy, a strategy that cracks down on trivial offenses to maintain law and order. This is a form of policing that Bratton supports and pioneered, and he stated that he will continue to use this strategy. In addition, the protesters demanded reparations for victims of police brutality and to defund the New York City Police Department. Listen, I know New York has a lot of problems, but you go ahead and defund that police department if you want to. They're savages, baby. They are savages, and I don't condone. I've seen some of the video of how New York City police conduct their little searches, you know, jumping out the car and jumping on you. I don't know. I'm on the fence with that one because defunding the police means no one's going to work. No one goes to work. You are having all types of mayhem in the largest city in the world. We have to think about this one for a second. Louisiana's Blue Lives Matter bill went into effect on Monday, making it a hate crime to intentionally harm police officers or first responders because of his or her uniform. Remember, we got to pay attention to language. We got to pay attention to diction. We got to pay attention to what is actually said explicitly in this bill. As reports note, the bill, formerly called Act 184, is the first of its kind and was officially signed into law by Governor John Bel Edwards on May 28th, long before the recent attacks on police officers in Dallas and Baton Rouge. Individuals who target officers, firefighters, EMS members will now see increased jail time and penalties. The bill has naturally brought up various opinions. Louisiana State Police Superintendent Mike Edmondson spoke in favor of the bill during the final push for the legislation earlier this year. Our job is crazy right now because you've got individuals that are out here that don't mind hurting somebody. However, there were some that weren't so warm to the idea. Laws like this, to me, tend to divide because now you're going to separate whether you've got Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, and you've got this contest going on, and it's not just helpful. And this was from the NAACP President Ernest Johnson, according to reports, as the reports say similar efforts to protest emergency responders are underway in several other states and even at a federal level. So could you imagine us having a federal Blue Lives Matter if you do anything to a police officer in uniform based on them being in uniform, you will get heightened jail sentences. Let's say, for instance, this is where the slippery slope comes into play. Let's say, for instance, you guys know it's an assault for you to spit on an officer, right? Or, yeah, it is. So let's say, for instance, you spit on an officer, or he said or she said that you spit on them, and that's assault, and now, you know, Blue Lives Matter, federal level, you now are in jail for how many? That's now a felony. Like, I don't know. And I do think it is very divisive for us to have a Blue Lives Matter law. Black people been killed for how long? Where the Black Lives Matter law? That you can't just kill black people and get away with it. Where's that law at? Where's the law that says police officers will be indicted? Where that law at? Y'all didn't hear me play Marilyn Mosby earlier? That baby said, listen, we cannot, with these systems that are currently in place, we cannot get the justice we deserve. It can't happen. It's not going to happen unless we have an independent investigatory division. What can we do? Y'all better pray for that baby. Pray for her. She said she's been getting death threats. She's being sued by the police officers that she was trying to hold accountable. Put her in your thoughts, put her in your prayers, put her in your meditations, whatever it is that you do, just be mindful of her and all of the things that she is going through. A decorative NYPD detective who has a right-wing social media presence that includes prejudice, takes on news events and insults Mayor de Blasio's wife, Charlene McRae, And he is a diehard supporter of Donald Trump. Detective Gregory Gordon, 33 years old, who works for the 121st Precinct in Staten Island, made this post on Facebook, which was set to private. Explain to me a time when a mayor's wife has ever been able to weigh in on police-related topics ever before. Who cares what this former crack addict says? Because she's a black woman, she's a crack addict? A former crack addict? In 2014, around the time a report claimed McCrae didn't trust Police Commissioner Bill Bratton. In August 2014, Gordon posted a list of 19 white people from across the country who were allegedly murdered by blacks in June, yet received no coverage by the press. He claimed some might get pissed at this status, but it just goes to show how people decide when racism is acceptable to sell to news. The same month, he griped about a woman who told a television reporter it was hard growing up black. Are you effing kidding me? Stop acting like anyone owes you anything. Slavery ended 149 years ago. Get over it. These screenshots are currently being reviewed by the NYPD. The department policy advises cops to exercise good judgment and demonstrate the same level of professionalism expected of them while performing their official duties. But if this is the mindset of the person that you hired, this person thinks like this behind the scenes and this person thinks like this when they're in uniform, what do you expect? You can't get mad at them because he's telling his truth. This is his truth. This is his Facebook page. It's currently private now, and I can only imagine how many other pages are currently private now. And unless you're actually a true friend, you won't see a lot of these things that are being said behind private Facebook pages. But if we were to go down the list of judges, police officers, DAs, if we were to go down the list for everybody that has a position of power that can either give you a job, take your job away, or make you a felon, I can almost guarantee that we're going to see the same consensus behind every single last one of them, especially if they're private. If you are a public official, does that mean that your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram should also be public, because your public opinion then is shined later when you're on the streets doing whatever duty that you're doing? Same thing for EMS. Blue Lives Matter bill in California covers EMS, but there has also been reports of EMS workers that are like, yo, that's your fault. You should have been eating cheeseburgers your whole life. I ain't finna save you. I don't know if you guys remember the report of the EMS worker that saw somebody. He was just like, listen, I'm not going over that blue line. I'm not going over the line to come save you. He was an EMS worker. You don't believe me? Do your due diligence. If you are a public official and you get paid by the public, should your opinion also be public so we can know how you feel behind the scenes, so we can understand why you act the way you do while you're on the street? A Texas police officer present at Sandra Bland's arrest says prosecutors warned him not to speak out. This is the damn problem. Marilyn Mosby said it best. I'm going to go ahead and play it before we get to Power Hour. But a Texas police officer who was present during Sandra Bland's traffic stop and arrest that led her to her untimely death in Waller County jail cell last year has said that the county officials told him not to speak out about what really happened. This is a problem. It is the problem. In an interview with the Houston Chronicle on Tuesday, Perry View police officer Michael Kelly said that Waller County District Attorney's Office prevented him from testifying before a grand jury about evidence that would have been beneficial to Bland's family and lawyer, telling Kelly that if he went public with his account, his career would suffer. Are you listening to this? Because please tell me, I don't have cable. Was this on mainstream media? Did you learn about this? Did you know about this? Good Rise in Facebook, Good Rise in YouTube. Did you know about this? Were you told about this? On July 10, 2015, Sandra Bland was pulled over at a traffic stop for an improper lane change. She was making her way to a new job, and as we know, she was unable to make it out of jail. And a Texas police officer who was present during Sandra Bland's traffic stop and arrest that led to her untimely death, is telling his story. And he's saying that they told me that my job, my career would suffer if I went public. I want that baby to go public more than ever right now. More than ever. Please, I promise to tell the truth. Tell the truth. Boston Police Commissioner, he believes that we should fingerprint Uber and Lyft drivers. Boston Police Commissioner William Evans is faulting Massachusetts lawmakers for failing to require the fingerprinting of drivers for ride-hailing service such as Uber and Lyft. The House and Senate approved regulations for this service Sunday night, but the bill does not require fingerprinting. Evans said Monday that the goal of fingerprinting is to identify drivers with histories of violent crimes and sexual assaults. Police already fingerprint cab drivers. I'm concerned with public safety and making sure that people who hop in and out of vehicles know the driver and know that they have been vetted. We're looking for violent offenders who have sexual histories or violent histories that we all want to wean out. My question is, first and foremost, I don't think that is the best idea, because already we have men with felonies. Most of them are nonviolent offenders. We know what they are. They're drug offenders that are currently, driving around, but they have felonies. I have some of my friends that cannot drive and cannot drive Uber or cannot drive for Lyft because of these drug felonies. Can't drive for them at all. I can only imagine once fingerprinted, how many men won't be able to drive because of child support? Then you can't pay the back child support because you can't drive. I think this fingerprinting may hinder more than it may do good. I want to say the percentage of people that actually are harmed or something happens through your Uber drive, the percentage is so small. Uber just hit their billionth ride. And the percentage of people that have been hurt by Uber drivers versus the percentage of drivers that haven't done anything wrong. I think that this having people fingerprinted prior to driving may hinder more than it may do good. I'll just leave that there. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. There's this dope article that DavidBanner posted from the Huffington Post, The Real Reason Why White People Say All Lives Matter. I think this is definitely worth reading. And one of the things that David said was, to all of your white friends that don't get it, send them this, because this breaks this down. It helps them understand. And it talks briefly about what we can do to embrace the discomfort, recognizing that we are not colorblind, working against unconscious bias by spending time with Black people in Black spaces, talk to white people about institutional racism, and say Black Lives Matter. One of the things that David said while he was here was just why do we always whisper when we talk about Black things? When we're in public spaces, why is it that we are always well, did you know? He said, no, use your voice, because at all walks of life, we're always uncomfortable. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're not in space with people that look like you, you are, in a sense, forced to be uncomfortable. It's time to start making other people uncomfortable. If they don't like the conversation, then they can move. But there's no reason why we need to be whispering. And it was funny because directly after the event, I went to ZC Boston. Shout out to ZC Boston with Reggie B. And we were talking about the event, and we were talking about DavidBanner, and Reggie started whispering. I'm like, nah, Reggie, say with your chest, Reggie. Because we just left the event where David was talking about, DavidBanner talking about, there's no reason why we should not be speaking up when we talk about our issues. Why are we whispering? And that was the first thing we did when we sat down and started talking about the issues, is we started whispering. Be mindful the next time you start talking with your friends in public spaces, and recognize whether or not you or those that you're with are also whispering. So I want to give a huge shout out to Malia. That baby is 18 years old, okay? She went to a concert, Lollapalooza Music Festival in Chicago from Thursday to Sunday. And on Sunday, she was spotted twerking and grinding with her friends while listening to Bryson Tiller. And if you ever think about it, I'd be twerking to Bryson Tiller. But there is so much controversy right now on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as far as Malia out there twerking and grinding and being half naked. I'm thinking, like, it's carnival season. If you know anything about carnival, hold on, this is Big City 101.3 FM. You know about carnival season. You know about playing mas. You know about having little pom-pom shorts and a tube. Like, she was wearing shorts and a tube top with one of those hiked up skirts with the slits on the side. And then in one video, she goes ahead and lifts up her skirt and does a little twerk. I'm like, listen, it's carnival season. She's at a concert. Let that baby be a baby. Let her be a college student. No, she has to do this and she has to do that. I'm only here for the comments. One of the comments was just like, can we please leave her alone? She's 18 years old and a college student. Let's go focus on one of the Bush kids when they were doing crack and cocaine. I was like, ooh, silence. But I think we're definitely demonizing her, and she doesn't deserve it. The baby does not deserve it. One of the memes that I saw that I thought was hilarious, and it wasn't hilarious because of what was being said. It was hilarious because of the picture. And they're coming off the plane, and he's like, get your ass over here. Got these white folks thinking you over here twerking. Give me your phone. Like, it really just sound like something that Daddy would say, regardless if he was the president of the United States or if he was in the middle of Roxbury on Warren Street. Like, it just sounds like something a daddy would say. Give me your phone. You out here twerking, out here looking like a thought. I was dead. I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to laugh, but that mess was hilarious. Some people were like, can somebody please get this girl a choreographer? Because there's no reason why she can't dance. There's no reason where a daddy named Barack and her mama named Michelle. Your mama look like she got cocoa butter on every day, smell like cocoa butter, and you can't dance? Leave that baby alone. Leave her alone. She been shouted. As soon as she come out of college, though, I bet she know how to twerk then. Let me stop. I think she's a child. She's 18 years old. She's in college. And I think we're making too much of it. She wasn't on a stripper pole. She wasn't half naked. For her age, for where she was, I think her clothing, her attire, and her behavior was entirely appropriate. That's my personal opinion. Please, if you think differently, put your stone down and take a look in the mirror. And then maybe then that's the glass you really want to break, is you looking in the mirror and thinking about the things you did. She's doing what's normal. She's not out drunk driving like W's daughter. Let her live. Shout out to Coco Sweets. That was a Facebook post. She wasn't drunk. She wasn't acting a fool. She was being a child. And it was like 3 seconds of her twerking. Like, her song came on, and then she did some awkward thing. But, leave her alone. I love. You guys know how I feel about technology, and I am absolutely in love with this wireless phone charger that makes your device levitate as it powers up. It's called OVR Charge. This is Drake's, or no, just joking. OVR Charge works using a base, the transmitter, and a charging case. The case contains electricity receiver, and a magnet to charge the phone and to hover. The firm says that it can levitate objects up to 600 grams and can make a tablet float. I think it is so dope. It looks so amazing. And the fact that your phone is just there and it's just spinning. I grew up in the 80s. I was a Jetsons kid, and I really thought that as an adult, by the time I had children, the Jetsons would be real. We'd have the flying cars, we'd have the tablets and the TVs and everything that we saw on Star Trek, we would have. and we're kind of sort of there, but not really. And I think this is one step closer to my meet George Jetson. Canadian innovators have developed a wireless charging device that charges your phone in mid-air. OVR Charge uses a combination of induction charging and magnetic levitation to make the device spin in air while they power up. According to the Kickstarter campaign, the $185 wireless levitation charger is compatible with most phone models and can even make a tablet float. It is absolutely amazing. I will go ahead and post this on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page so you can see it for yourself. So dope, so dope, so dope. In other news, a really catch-all test, all cancers, all diseases, simply screening could detect up to 95% of diseases that may be available within a few years. Scientists have developed a list of 788 biomarkers found in the blood. These are telltale signs showing cancer is present in a person's body. They hope to develop a blood test to check for different types of diseases. This test will allow doctors to spot a disease before it has spread, become deadly, or has actually been activated. I think this is amazing. Again, I love science. I hope we continue to do the right thing and stop playing God. But I can see this being, okay, let's go ahead and give you a test. Has anybody seen Gattaca? So Gattaca is an old film. I believe it came out in like 97 or something like that. And I think it's Ethan Hawke was in it. Basically, it's based on the premise of everybody has to be perfect. And if your child is born with a disease, or if your child is born with an ailment, or if your child is born with anything outside of these markers, and they use that in the film, like these markers, we found that, you know, the child has such and such and such and such. Like, he had to cover up his entire identity. He had to become another person in order for him to live. He had to learn how to run a certain amount of time. He had to learn how to, you know, it doesn't make sense. And I feel like this is where we're going, as far as you can choose whatever baby you like. Do you want blue eyes, brown eyes, purple eyes, hazel eyes? Do you want light skin, dark skin? Do you want perfect teeth, long hair? Like, who wants to create a baby? We're not building a bear. It's like a Build-A-Bear for DNA. I think that we're playing God, and we're taking it a little bit too far. A lot of it too far. Hackers can remotely bug almost any machine. Malware hacks office equipment to create spying devices. A New York-based security firm has developed malware called Frontena. Frontena uses software to make office phones, printers, transmit data. Phones can turn into listening devices to share conversations that they hear. Printers can send out kinds of Morse code that hackers can translate. Basically, any device that is plugged in, any device that has a battery, any device that is on a wireless network or any network can be tapped into, can be used, utilized for the greater good of whatever it is the hacker is seeking. When your phone can be used as a listening device, when your cell phone, what movie was that? When they were in the middle of a room and he shut his phone off and he was like, nah, that's not enough. That baby took the battery out. It was just like, okay, now go hide it under a pillow. I forgot what movie that was, but your phone is a listening device. Your car can be especially if you have the, welcome to OnStar. You don't think they could tap in real quick? And if somebody can get into that system and tap into your car and listen to whatever's going on, y'all better pay attention. I can't wait for this newborn identity to come out. This newborn identity, as soon as it comes out, you're going to figure out what new technology is out there that we didn't know about before, that will be utilized on the American people within the next 5 years. Don't believe me? Go back and watch the entire Born series. Because when that movie first came out, what was it, in the 90s, right? When the movies first came out, we were like, oh, wow, that's so cool. They can do this and they can do that. And they were like, hold on, but damn, that camera really is zoning in on my face and retinal scanner and tongue scan. Damn. Born Identity was telling the truth. Jason, come save me. I don't think anybody really thinks about this. Yeah, somebody said your TV too, because some of these TVs now have like the whole FaceTime thing going on. Some of these TVs have voice activation. TV, go turn on Hulu. Okay, Tayla. Like, let me tell you. So, you know, I'm the biggest conspiracy theorist ever, right? So I have Android. And my Android allows me to talk to text. So I have carpal tunnel. Sometimes my arm is killing me. So texting is a problem. So I just press the little voice button and just talk. So anybody who ever gets my text messages like, Tayla, what the hell did you just say? Talk to text doesn't always work the way that it should. But when it does, and I'm talking, and as I'm talking, the words are literally showing up on the screen. I'm like, yo, the chick that's listening to my conversation is fast as I really don't believe that it's just a talk to text. I really think that somebody's on the other line texting with you about, because I'm like, oh, let me text such and such about such and such. And then I'm like, talk to text, and it comes up exactly, you know, I'm skeptical, y'all. I'm so skeptical. But hackers can remotely bug almost anything, almost any machine, anywhere, and use it as a spying device. If you don't know, now you know. Be mindful, baby. You know very well who you are. So, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has told parole authorities to ban registered sex offenders on parole from playing Pokemon Go. Okay, so I think I'm on the fence. And the reason why I'm on the fence with this one is because if that's the case, can our police commissioner, can our governor sit here and say that the convicted sex offenders in the state of Massachusetts can't ride the school bus because we have 6th, 7th, and 8th graders on the bus? Not school bus, on the MBTA bus? I'm just saying. Because if the governor of New York can say 3,000 convicts should be barred from playing Pokemon Go, I think our sex offenders here in Massachusetts shouldn't be able to take public transportation because we got babies on the bus. I'm being facetious. Because how you going to stop somebody from playing a damn game? And there's more adults playing the game than the damn kids. But I'll leave that alone. The county probation's office said that they should be doing the same. It has also been written to the game software development that certain people can't log in. State Senator Jeff Klein said that the app creates a virtual roadmap to children. Again, I want to go back to the fact that there's more adults playing the game than children. And if that's the case, does that mean that, I don't know, take them off the MBTA? Put them in their own community, if that's the case. Tayla, but doesn't it make sense? I don't know. Your child shouldn't be walking in the streets and falling off cliffs playing the damn game either, but that's neither here or there, is it? Would you hire a mistress dispeller? Chinese women are paying up to $60,000 for a professional to befriend the other woman and break up their husband's affair. I think this is absolutely hilarious. The mistress dispellers are becoming increasingly more popular in China. They specialize in ending marriages, ending marital affairs, affairs that men have with different lovers. A mistress dispeller does this by befriending the mistress in question, and they might get them a new job or a new lover somewhere else. And if you want one, you can just go ahead and order one. This is currently in China, but I guess if, given the right circumstance, somebody might go ahead and start that here, especially with that whole Ashley Madison that went out. I can definitely see someone starting that nonsense here. It's like a private investigation firm type thing, but instead, I don't know. If that's the case, because he's going to find another mistress. If you get rid of the one that he has, he's going to find another one. How about you just get rid of the man? Keep your $60,000. Get rid of him. Hey, but in a country where all the baby girls were killed for so many years and men are the dominating creatures, there's enough men out there and not enough women, so they trying to share. Call to action, last but not least, as far as stories are concerned, a call to action has been created by Atasha Scott, the founder of Coco Mocha Kids, and her 8-year-old son, Dean, to bring sunshine and smiles to Diana Reynolds. The 4-year-old Diana is the daughter of Diamond Reynolds and was sitting alone in the back seat when she witnessed a police officer shoot and kill Philando Castile. After watching the video of Castell's death, Atasha and her son Dean wanted to do something special for the brave little girl. They collectively decided, using their resources and reaching out to all the Black-owned children's product companies, to gift books, toys, and other items for children of color would be awesome. We reached out to the family lawyer and provided all of the information. We sent our call to action via Instagram. Over 80 companies and counting from the U.S. to U.K. have answered, Atasha wrote to Media Blackout USA. I want to give a huge shout out to Media Blackout USA. You can follow him on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. He is absolutely amazing. He has all of the stories up to date, everything you need to know. So again, Media Blackout USA. I said I was going to play it before we hopped on to Power Hour, and I really do want you guys to hear this again and again and again, and however long it takes for us to understand that Marilyn Mosby is trying to do her job, and she is very much equipped and very educated. And when she tells you that, Houston, we have a problem, we need to start paying attention. So this is Marilyn Mosby talking about not proceeding on the remaining police officers as far as Freddie Gray is concerned. I want you to listen to her pain. I want you to listen to her frustration, and I want you to listen to the words that are coming out of her mouth.
It's simply not the case. I'm anti-police brutality, and I need not remind you that the only loss and the greatest loss in all of this was that of Freddie Gray's life. For over a year, my office has been forced to remain silent on all 6 of the cases pertaining to and surrounding the death of Freddie Gray. Despite being physically and professionally threatened, mocked, ridiculed, harassed, and even sued, we've respected and fulfilled our obligation and dutiful silence in accordance with Judge Barry Williams' gag order, restricting any commentary from the state. In accordance with my oath to pursue justice over convictions, I refuse to allow the grandstanding of some and the hyperbole of others to diminish our resolve to seek justice on behalf of this young man. I was elected the prosecutor. I signed up for this, and I can take it. Because no matter how problematic and troublesome it has been for my office, my prosecutors, my family, and me personally, it pales in comparison to what mothers and fathers all across this country, specifically Freddie Gray's mother.
I've been telling everybody, like, we need to send her our love. We need to send her our prayers. Because she's going through it, and she needs all of the love she possibly can get right now.
Yeah, well, that's why I called. The day that I found out that I called, because what are they doing now? I haven't kept a...
Right now, I think that baby is getting ready for the war, because they're getting ready to sue her. The police officers are suing her. If you didn't know, now you know. I'm loving your show. My first time tuning in. Usually sleep on the West Coast. Thank you, Coco Sweets. Thank you. Roxbury against gentrification. You can get this shirt at Everything is Real Barbershop that is located on Dudley Street right next to the fire station. Everything Real Barbershop. And I think you can buy the shirts online. They're either I think I paid $25 and I got 4 shirts. Yeah. So I got 4 shirts, $25 each. Absolutely love them. Shout out to Allah. Roxbury against gentrification. I would love for anybody who works in the boiling building, I think you should wear this shirt every day to work. Every day. Go on and cut it up. Tie-dye it. Wear this shirt every damn day. and make people feel uncomfortable.
Examiner's determination that Freddie Gray's death was a homicide.
Yes, homicide.
That's right.
Homicide. Yes.
However, after much thought and prayer, it has become clear to me that without being able to work
We
with
have
an
a minute
independent
and 32.
investigatory agency from the very start, without having a say in the election of whether our cases proceed in front of a judge or a jury, without communal oversight of policing.
Yeah, so today is titled, what are you reading? What are people reading? And hold on, what is the...
Well, I brought 2 books that I'm reading.
Oh, How to Hustle and Win. Oh, yeah.
And Testimony of Life.
Testimony of Light.
This is an amazing book.
We are, today is Reading is Fundamental. What are you reading? And there was 2 parts to this. Let me pull up Twitter.
Also, we're doing Hidden Colors, the movie.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We're showing it at the museum.
Let's talk about it.
And what else is going on?
Equality in our justice system is well worth
My
fighting.
theme is
This system is in need of reform, and when it comes to police accountability, and as long as I'm the chief prosecutor for this city, I vow to you that my office and I will fight. We will fight for a fair and equitable justice system for all, so that whatever happens
Let's talk about
to
it.
Freddie Gray never happens
To
to another
anybody
person in this community
ever
again.
again. Big city. Yes. That is Marilyn Mosby. That's her talking about being the chief prosecutor in the Freddie Gray case and how these systems out here work and how it's not beneficial. And she said, listen, we need an individual investigatory.
Investigation.
No, investigatory, like
Independent body.
yes, that's what it is. Miss Andrea Payne, how are you, my love? How are you?
Well, I'm fine. I hope I wasn't seen on television.
You about to be on television though, as soon as I turn this computer around. So before we jump into Power Hour, before we talk about reading is fundamental and talk about all of these issues that are currently going on in our community, again, I want to remind you, Roxbury against gentrification. Shout out to Allah. Everything is real. Barbershop on Dudley Street, right next to the fire station. Get your $25 t-shirts. Roxbury against gentrification. If you work at the Boiling Building, get you about 5 of them so you can wear them every day to work. I want to give a huge shout out to ZC Boston, 801 Mass Ave, free parking, lunch 2 hours, dinner 3 hours, free delivery up until 1 a.m. They are open until 2 a.m. The bento boxes are $10. They are absolutely amazing. The food is good. The only place that I can go to as far as Chinese food is concerned, eat some chicken and not feel like it's wrapped. I love them. Faith's Natural Beauty. Hold on, let me tell you, baby, really quickly. So yesterday, I did not practice what I preach. I love Faith so much. I have my core products that I use every single day. I have about 5 products I use in the shower and about 5 products that I use outside of the shower. I love it. My skin is so moisturized. It's soft. It's amazing. But she was like, Tayla, I have some products on the website you've never seen before. She got over 180 products. So I went ahead and filled up my basket yesterday, right? And she has a 20% off. So if you go online and you order 20% off, so I won't tell you how much I ordered. I'll just tell you that I got $80 off. If you want to do the math real quick, I got $80 off. So really quickly, the Strawberry Drizzle Body Scrub, it's one of my favorite, periods. Like, it really supersedes the rose infused oil. The Treasured Moments Feminine Wash, aka the Pum Pum Wash. The Positive Vibes Waist Beads, Papaya Face Polish, Nourishing Anti-Aging Face Cream. The My Pleasure Exfoliating Body Scrub, the Body and Massage Oil. The Melon Love Body Set. The Kiss Kiss Lips Moisturizing Set, the Island Mango Duo Blast, the Holden Spray Gel. That's the hairspray that I was talking about for locks or for curly hair. It's absolutely amazing. The Honeysuckle Peppermint Foot Scrub, the Hair Growth Nourishing Starter Kit. So if your hair, she has pictures of people who have edges that are growing back, baby. Get your edges back. The Glowing Skin Face Set, the foot mask, the exfoliating body scrub, and I got like 7 different flavors. The body lotion, Divine Queen body soap, the detox soap. Listen, she has so many things on her website. That's Faiths with an S, Naturals with an S, Beauty.com. I did not know she had over 180 products. Cashmere Dreams body oil. I don't even know what that smells like, but I want some. So shout out to Faith's Naturals. Make sure you get the Pum Pum wash. Make sure you get the detox wash, the hair milk, the rose infused oil, all of the souffles, and that teeth whitener. Last but not least, shout out to Medwell, 820 Pearl Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, 774-517-5195. Get your $25 off when you mention the Wake Up with TaylaAndre show. Make sure you take a picture. The picture is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as far as this certificate is concerned, so you can let them know that TaylaAndre sent you for your $25 off your evaluation and your medical marijuana card. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much, Miss Andrea Payne, for being in the building with us today. Last time you were in the building, we talked a little bit about spirituality. We talked about holistic healing, and we discussed the fact that you are a brilliant writer, and you had a workshop on grant writing.
Yes.
Yes, so bring it a little closer so we can hear you. Today we're going to talk about, reading and books and just what's going on in our community as a whole, because you're very in tune to everything that's going on in our Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan. And thank you for the work that you do. Shout out to Reggie B. But first question is, what book are you reading?
Okay, so I'm reading 2 books at the same time.
At the same thing.
I'm reading How to Hustle and Win.
Can I show this to
by
the
Supreme Understanding. It's a survival guide for the ghetto.
Ooh, a survival guide for the ghetto. If you're currently reading a book, please inform us. Let us know so we can all share this information. 617-282-0062. For those that are on Facebook and YouTube, go ahead and put a message in and we'll read that anonymously. What books are you reading? This is How to Hustle and Win, a survival guide for the ghetto, forward by the real Rick Ross, not the fake one, but the real one. How to Hustle and Win. And who is this author? By Supreme Understanding?
Uh-huh.
Do you know Supreme? Who is Supreme Understanding?
Okay, so I don't know him, but here's how it started. I'm a member of BG. I work for them, the Black Economic Justice Institute.
Mm-hmm.
You go online and get their phone number. But anyway, they're located at 7 Cheney Street in Dorchester, Grove Hall. So we're having these meetings about the Blue Hill Ave corridor. We're trying to come up with a project that will support businesses and the community residents on Blue Hill Avenue. So what happened was, after one of the meetings, I said to these young brothers, let's do a book club. And I suggested the book Of Water and the Spirit by Maladoma Patrice Somé.
By who?
Maladoma Patrice Somé. Maladoma is an African shaman that I met in 2006 after reading his book. When I read his book, Of Water and the Spirit, I felt I had to meet this man. I didn't know how I was going to meet him. I either had to meet him or I had to go to Dado, West Africa, and Burkina Faso and go to his people, the Tagara people. That's just how much my spirit longed to be in that kind of an environment. But anyway, I met him. And I read his book. It was just an amazing testimony about his life as a shaman, what had happened to him as a child. And so I think it's one of the most important books I've ever read.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of the most important books that people of color could read. I think anybody should read it because it allows you to see what it was like in an African village before, right at the cusp of colonization. So you were able to see their rituals and their power.
And what is the name of this book?
This book is called Of Water and the Spirit.
Of Water and the Spirit.
By Maladoma, M-A-L-I-D-I, Maladoma, spelled phonetically, Maladoma Patrice Somé, S-O-M-E.
Okay.
So I suggested that to them. And then one of the young brothers said, okay, well, what about you reading How to Hustle and Win? Have you read that book? So I said, no, I haven't. So he started talking about it. So I said, okay, I'll get the book. So I got the book, and I think I've read like maybe the first chapter and a half or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is we're going to do a book club. And it's two young brothers at this point, two young men in their like 20s.
Young men.
Yes, young men. And because I felt that, why should I have to read the book that I want to read? Let me stretch and read what they would suggest. And so they really suggested this. So I'm reading this for our book club. We're going to have a book club meeting sometime in August. We haven't set the date yet, but it's going to be at 7 Cheney Street where we have it, most likely.
So, how to hustle and win. What, you're just in the beginning of that. What is this book about?
It's it toots itself as being a survival guide for the ghetto. You know, which I don't really like that word, but anyway.
Any good tips?
So what it is he is trying to teach young men, and I guess anybody who reads it, how to thrive in communities of color, in Black communities. So he's talking about, so one of the young guys who told me, Parker Davis is one of the guys who told me about reading it. He said the tip that he's giving me is that it's not really about the hustle, but you don't find that out until you read that in the book. He said that's the tip. It's
You
not
just
really
gave
about
away the book.
Well, I don't know, because he said that to me, and I'm in it, and I haven't gotten that point yet, so I don't think I've given it away.
Okay.
But what I like about it is that these young men said, hey, I want to read this. I've read this. I think it's helpful for young Black people to read this, and so I'm reading it because of what they said.
Okay. So you listening to the young people, trying to see where their heads at.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, because we talk too much. I mean, I'm a talker, but we have to listen to what our young people are saying, because they have value, they have worth,
Yes.
they have power, but we don't often see it. And we're so busy putting our energy and our wants and wishes and what we think we know onto them, and we drown out their own voices. I didn't want to do that, so we're reading this first.
And what is the second book you have?
The second book is a book called Testimony of Life. For those of you who were here listened to the last time, I was talking about this experience that I sometimes have when people die. I contact them through this process called the Paraledger post-death process.
And this is the 90-minute, is it 3 days? It's a 3-day window?
Yeah, 3-day window. But this book is different. So I was looking for some inspiration one day, and I picked up one of the Paraledger books, and she had mentioned this book. I had read that book like 2008, but I forgot to. For some reason, I never picked this book up. And so I picked it up. Absolutely, I ordered it through Amazon, and it's extraordinary. I mean, you have to really open yourself up. As I said to Tayla when I came in here, my mission in life is to give myself back to myself, and to support others in giving themselves back to themselves. Because what has happened is that we have been dumbed down by this society and this culture, and by, I would say, the white patriarchy. They've taken all the knowledge and the power and the wisdom of people of color throughout the world, and people of non-color who also had a different vision, but didn't fit in with what the white patriarchy wanted you to learn. And so we have dumbed down. I think that's one of the reasons why you're seeing so much pain and suffering and anger and frustration, drug addiction.
You know, it's
because
crazy.
We don't know who we are.
Yesterday, it's hilarious, because if I'm correct, you weren't listening to yesterday's show.
I was
No.
meditating or something like that.
Yeah.
Trying to.
So the words that came out of your mouth mirror this conversation that we had at this exact time yesterday.
Wow.
So it's you know, everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer of that. And I am with you. I'm right. I believe you're right as far as, you know, where we are mentally in our vibration and our frequency is the reason why we see so much calamity in this world right now. And all we have to do is raise our vibration. And once we raise our vibration, we'll see the lowering of violence and crime and anger and animosity and murder.
It is. It's a difficult task, though, and I'm not trying to be negative. It's not just a matter of raising your vibration. You have to raise up the vibration of everything around you, the plants, the earth, and the oceans. And so, what I like about this book is it's a book about this woman. Now, she died in 1965, and she was a South African nun. She was a white woman. I'll just be honest, tell you what the story is.
Mm-hmm.
But when she died, a few weeks after she died, she started transmitting messages from the afterlife to her friend Helen Greaves. And what she talks about is exactly what you just said. Without you having read this book, because you're so brilliant, Tayla, she talks about the vibratory level. And she gives some suggestions, which I think indigenous people have practiced forever, but they were not verified. And one of the things she talks about is that if you have an ancestor who's passed over, then you pray for them because you can help them on their journey. And they will pray for you.
And help you on your journey.
You on yours. So that when we contact the ancestors and honor them, then we are helping them on their journey. But often in our culture, we don't, we'll just do this ancestor thing very politely as like a ceremony, but we don't really take it to the degree that it can be taken to, where we can really work with them on the other side to help us heal.
Really?
And we can really work with them, with us, to help them. Because some people, depending on what they've done, they don't land in what we call heaven. And she talks about she was somebody who was always, she was a seeker. She was a seeker, but she was caught up in the Christian faith.
Okay.
And when she got over to the other side, she started to see how a lot of that doctrine just didn't apply. It just wasn't what she thought it was. And in order for her to grow spiritually, she had to let go of all that and deal with what she was experiencing, life after death as being. So it's really, really
So this
awesome.
is a dumb question. How did she write the book?
She telepathed the information to her friend Helen. Like, have you ever, you've received information from Beyond the Veil?
Yes.
We all do.
Yes.
Some people are just more finely tuned to be able to touch into that information than others. So Helen and Francis is the one who died, and Helen is the one who received the information.
Okay.
They have been seekers together. So they were able to connect, their minds were able to connect, and she was able to transmit this information to
Us,
Helen.
the readers, yeah.
And so through Helen, then we get what Francis is saying.
Can I ask you a question you may not know the answer to? There is a distinct smell that my uncle had while he was living. And there are times where I can feel him and smell him. Like, it's his scent. Nobody else has that scent. How does scent transcend? Or like, how is it even possible that I can feel him spiritually? I can feel him like, oh, hey, TT, how you doing? But then I can smell him. And for me, it's like a confirmation. Like, I'll feel him, and then it's just like, I'm here. And then the scent lingers in too. So I don't know if you know the answer to that, but
No,
sometimes I feel like it's a figment of my imagination, Andrea. Like,
No,
maybe
it's
I
not.
imagined it.
It's not. It's confirmation. And if Uncle TT is showing up,
Oh, TT means uncle.
okay, so TT is showing up, then that means that he has a message for you. And maybe you need to, at that point, sit and listen. And not as just like, oh, I'm so happy that you're here. But there's something that maybe he wants to transmit to you. And so he's like, okay, she knows I have this smell. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing planet universe that religions, I think all of them have just dumped it down to create power and control over people. So that they don't get a chance to live their fullness and their richness. This is an amazing, amazing place. That's what I said. I want to give myself back to myself, and I want to give other people back to themselves by opening up in your mind the understanding that we live on an amazing planet where so much is possible. we're living a little tiny life, and that's the source of our frustration. So your uncle is coming to you, and he's saying, okay, she'll know that it's me because I'll have this smell. So when he comes to you next time, now you go deeper with it. Not just like a little visit, like, what are you here to tell me?
You see, and I've been superficial, like, oh, thank you for visiting. You know, I did miss you today. And I've been real superficial with it. Like, I never actually sat down like, all right, let's talk.
Yeah, what are you here to tell me? And is there anything I can do to help you? I don't know your uncle, but sometimes when people leave this side of the veil, there's so much stuff that has not been resolved that they're trying to resolve. And they may feel that you are a person who can help them resolve it. When I contacted my father after he died, you know, one of the things he said to me was, he was a little bit irritated, and he said, this is not heaven the way I thought it was. My father died thinking he was going to go to heaven with the golden pearly gates or whatever. He said they need to stop teaching that on earth. They need to start preaching the truth. So I'm telling you that he's like,
what did he say is it like over there?
Well, he was in a different place. Now, I only was able to reach him for the first 72 hours. I don't know what shifts after that, but where he was in a room with his guide. And he was beginning the process of sorting through your life. See, because you're going to come back here, maybe 300 years from now, maybe 1,000 years from now, but you're going to come back. And when you come back, you will want to have sorted through as much as you can what you did on earth. So sometimes people who are contacting you may feel like they need to say, I'm sorry for something that I've done to you, because that's hindering their process. What they've done to you has somehow hindered their process, and they're now trying to move forward with it. So that life is supposed to be bright. And one of the things that she talks about, because I was saying to the creator over and over again, okay, so what is the mechanism? I understand a lot of this stuff, but what is the mechanism? She talks about light. It's called Testimony of Light. And she's always talking about bringing in the light, the light, the light, the light. And it's so interesting because I have a chant that deals with that. Divine unity, love, and light. Have another chant that deals with compassion. She talks a lot about compassion. I've been given these chants years ago called the compassion chants.
Can you give us one of these chants? What does a chant sound like?
Well, I can. I mean, the first chant is called, that I'm going to do is called the Divine Light chant.
Okay.
And so it goes, divine love, unity and light are the transcendent power, healing my mind, transforming my life, the world, and the universe now. And you just repeat it over and over again. Divine love, unity and light are the transcendent power, healing my mind, transforming my life, the world, and the universe now. So chanting is a tool that's used to bring you back into your higher states of mind. When you start spinning out of control, you're waiting for the bus, it's not coming, you're about to hit your kid for no reason, you're about to do something you have no business doing, you chant yourself back into attunement with the higher energy forces, like you said, the higher vibratory energies. So people in different spiritual practices, they'll chant in groups and they'll go on for hours.
Like monks chant?
Monks and nuns and whatever. It's like the drumming. You know, you do like drum circles and just go on and on and on. Well, words and everything vibrates at different levels. And so music is so very important. And so when you chant, you want to chant at a vibratory level. You want to try to get the chant going in the right pitch and whatever, although that's not my thing. I'm not an official.
That's okay. Singer. We can't sing over here, but we sang, Andrea. We sang.
So chanting helps bring you back. When you start worrying about stuff, you're doing the dishes. Chanting is really great for housework because you vacuum in the floor and you just do your chanting, and so you're getting like a twofer. You're getting.
So our ancestors were chanting when they were in the slave cotton fields.
Oh, absolutely.
So that those singing of hymns aren't just singing of hymns, but bringing it back to creator and you need a tissue?
Yeah, I do. I could use a tissue here. Let me just bed down here. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's
My
okay.
nose is running here.
So I'm familiar with chanting in the sense of I do it in the shower.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what I'm doing. It just allowing yourself to be self. And in the shower, like sometimes I'll do, I don't think I can do it on air, like, and just, I don't know, it makes me feel better. I have no idea what it is. I've been doing it for years. But it kind of, in a sense, mirrors, what's that bowl where you,
the singing bowl.
yeah, the singing bowl.
Uh-huh.
And I always felt connected to a singing bowl, like the way that it makes me feel. And so I guess I've always mirrored that sound, especially like in meditation. And so
what you have is you have the natural God-given, one infinite creator, one most high given abilities, and you've already been using them, but you haven't really figured out how to use them even higher. So songs, you know, when you look at the voice, pitch, it can shatter glass because vibration is higher than matter. You see, this is the confusion that we're living in our world. We think that matter is the most important thing. No, consciousness and vibration, they supersede matter. So that's why someone can just sing a note and glass can break. So when you're singing at that vibratory level, you don't know what you're doing. You could be healing your body. That could be what's been given to you to heal your body. That could be what's been given you to go sit with your children. So put all around your house. It's not a small thing. It's a huge thing it's a gift that you have. It's an innate ability that you have. Now you just have to work it more. Work it more with the consciousness that this is power. What's coming through me is power. I just finished at some point a couple of days ago, or yesterday I think it was, a section where she talks about music. And she talks about how what she's singing now in the afterlife chorus is so different than what she was singing on earth, and how she comes together with these ceremonies of singing. And it's like, she says, everybody comes together. They see it as though everything is ordained for the singing of one note. And so you're gonna have the musicians with instruments, and you're gonna have the people with their sound, and everybody wants to hit that note. And when they hit it, there's a level of ecstasy that is indescribable. And that's what you're doing.
And didn't even know it. And so that's what I said about giving yourself back to yourself, opening up deeper levels of awareness that this stuff is power. This is where the energy is, because it's within you. Wow. One of the things that you said is you could be healing yourself.
Absolutely.
So I am huge on documentaries. I don't have television, but I do love documentaries. And I was watching this documentary on Kemet, on Egypt, and on the pyramids. And one of the pyramids that aren't the major three, not the Gizas, but a couple of 100 miles away, there's another pyramid, and it has holes and tunnels. And in the documentary, they were talking about how one would go into one of, a certain step, and each step has a different frequency, has a different vibration of sound, and nobody can tell you what step or what entrance for you to go into. You have to go in, by feeling into yourself, and then that sound frequency or pitch then is a tunnel of healing based on where you. So you're connecting things for me that I never connected before.
Yes, and this is the ancient knowledge that has been lost. I think what I said last time, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and then the world was tragically changed. And what we have to try to do is bring it back. Not necessarily where it was exactly, because we can never do that, but we have to bring back that ancient knowledge. Yes, that's what they did. All this surgery, all this stuff that they're doing to our bodies, all this stuff is really unnecessary, because you can be healed. There are different people who will tell you that back in the day, even in this country, the 1800s, they were healing through light. what they would do is they would put different colors of light on different areas, like red or blue or whatever, and they would hold that, they would shine light on that, and that would help heal your body.
Is that not similar to what Dr. Sikasa has as far as realigning your chakras, and when you put certain lights on certain chakras and it realigns and heals you that way?
Yes.
Wow. Hold on. Because when's the last time you went to a doctor and they're like, hold on, let's go put you under the light? Like, that never happens today.
No, no, because they have created a death way of healing that is really just killing everybody.
That doesn't even, you said that with the straightest face too, like they're creating a death way of healing.
Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it healing, but that's what it is death. You know, you go for an x-ray. Well, you go for an x-ray, and then what happens? The x-ray technician runs out the room. Right?
Yes.
Because they know that those x-rays are deadly.
Yeah.
They're talking about like the MRI. Sometimes people's hair falls out afterward.
What?
Yeah, because they don't know what the frequencies are for this stuff. So x-rays, once you start getting your body x-rays, you have brought down your body's electrical system. Everybody's body has an electrical system, has an electrical grid. So everything that we've created out here is really trying to mirror what the Creator has made. We have an electrical system and an electrical grid. And when you put an x-ray up against an electrical system or electrical grid, you damage the electrical system. Those two things cannot coexist. And so that's what happened when my father was going for surgery. He had fractured his hip, and he wanted to go for surgery. They didn't want him to have the surgery because he had the cancer. So what they said to him was, you recently had x-rays. We couldn't do it anyway because an x-ray is not compatible with this kind of surgery because of your body's electrical system. I don't think you need to use that word. But basically, the two things are not compatible. So they've created a death way of healing, and all the things that you could do to heal yourself through tone, those singing bowls, through just listening to some good music. And I'm going to jump out here and say something that people may not like.
No, say it.
But I'm going to say it.
Hold on, wait. Let me get this on film. Because Andrea Payne is on one today.
Reverend Andrea Payne. Reverend State here.
Healer Andrea Payne.
Well, I don't consider myself to be a healer, but I consider myself to be somebody who's on the journey and who wants to support others in realizing more of themselves so that you can have a better quality of life. And that's what we're going to have to do. Each one. And we're going to have to do it quickly because of where we're headed on this planet. We're going to have to wake up and remember who we are and act on that. I want to tell you a cute story a little bit later on down the line.
Okay.
But getting back to this, so that healing exists within our bodies. It's just that we have allowed ourselves to feel like every little thing that happens, we have to go to these doctors who are only going to give you medication that's insanity. They're going to give you pills and surgery, and that's it. They're not healing you. I mean, some people get healed. They gotta have a few people who go through the process to get it. But look at the sickness that we're experiencing in the world globally. The rise of diabetes, cancers, all of that stuff. You know, just for all you people out there who want to race for the cure and all that kind of stuff, do you know that that cancer cell lines are contaminated? And the doctors know, that the researchers know that when they're researching on, let's say, ovarian cancer, they may actually be using a breast cancer cell, which is completely different than an ovary. They know that these cancer cells are contaminated, and they know there's a problem, but they're not fixing it. This was in the Wall Street Journal, a conservative paper. It's well known in the community of research that a lot of the cancer cells that they're studying are not the right ones. So the universe is a very specific place, a very specific thing. There's an oak tree and there's a apple tree. And you have a little tiny seed. An oak tree cannot produce an apple tree. So if you have breast cancer, you cannot study breast cancer by looking at a cancer that is an ovarian cancer. This is why we're having all these problems trying to cure these diseases. They know that. This has been going on since the 60s. So when I say that they're trying to heal us
through death,
that's what I'm not
it's
joking.
just, it's not a joke, but it's just when you say it, it sounds funny. But then when you realize that this is the truth, it's like, damn, it's not as funny as I thought it was.
All this autism, all this Alzheimer's,
it's
just unnatural. And we have to know this is not what the Creator made. But what I wanted to go back and say was, so when we're talking about vibrations and levels and sounds, you know, I have just felt that the advent of negative rap music has been such a detriment to our community.
I can hear people saying ashe, ashe,
we were kind
ashe.
of doing okay. You start looking at the 80s, where we were in terms of the people, we were recuperating, beginning to just get our stride going. And then all of a sudden, in the late 80s, you come up with this rap music that is insane. I just claim it. It's insane. I went to there were these groups of people, they put together a seminar. They were a church group, and they wanted to protest against negative rap music. I'm not talking about powerful rap music. I'm not talking about Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. I'm not talking about people like that. I'm talking about Snoop Dogg and all this stuff. So anyway, what they did was they wrote out lyrics for some of the rap songs because I could never understand them anyway. So when I saw the lyrics, I said, oh my God, what is this? Foul, disgusting, ignorant music. And let me tell you something, I'm up for the funk. One of my favorite songs is One Nation Under a Groove. So the last service I did as a minister, we played that as the morning song. And we got up and danced.
One nation
under a groove.
Yeah. Get it down just for the fuck of it.
So we did that. That was our morning song. Because I wanted people to know that the Creator is in all of it. It's not just gospel music. It's not just church music. That kind of music, One Nation Under a Groove. If you play that song, I defy you not to start dancing. You just gotta move. So anyway, but when you listen to this music, and the N word is and the F word and the B word, it's just like, no, this is killing our kids. You see them walking down the street and they're spouting this music. It's one of the problems that's creating the violence. Because see, what I just got through talking about is the vibratory levels of sound, and there's vibratory levels of words, and there's vibratory levels of everything. Colors, like different people, if you're ill, you start finding out intuitively what color should be on my body today. Okay, sometimes you may need to wear black, you may need to wear white, you may need to wear purple. Go get some inexpensive t-shirts and put that next to your body. So color heals. It also changes your aura, your energy levels. So that music took us down a road to death. If you see our young men just killing each other over nothing, and our young ladies spouting this garbage. I was doing community gardening over there on Spencer Street in Dorchester. And I went out there, and there were women playing this music. And it was some rapper, I don't know what. I'm all about the P, you know what I'm talking about. Just give me my money, and I want to F you and B you. And I mean, I yelled, I said, God, I came out here to be with nature. To have a nature experience. I got all extra because I can be extra. I was like, I'm sitting here, and I can't stand this music. I can't stand it. Please stop. Within 1 minute, they shut off the music. And it did not turn on again. Until sometime after I left.
But while you were there,
while I was there, it was gone. It's just horrible. So when you start looking at your conditions, you're bringing those conditions into your world. So she will talk about that. I haven't gotten to what he said about that kind of thing.
Miss Andrea, Reverend Andrea Payne, we need about 7 hours together, baby, because we coming to the top of the hour. You know that, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well listen, I have to tell people about Hidden Colors.
Yes, please.
We're doing a viewing of Hidden Colors for what is that one? That's the religion of the supremacy.
Yes.
Something like that.
White supremacy, the religion.
Yeah.
The religion of white supremacy.
Yeah, and so it's going to be at the Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists.
AKA the Big Head Museum.
Yes, 300 Walnut Avenue, this coming Saturday, August the 6th at 6 p.m. Doors open. They're going to have, suggested donation is $10.
And y'all going to be there till about 11 p.m. Because once you start talking,
yeah,
I've seen you before.
Okay, so we're going to talk about it. Yeah, I forgot you can't mention anybody on the air, so I take that back.
No. Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I take that back. But anyway,
a donation would be welcome.
A donation would be welcome. August 6th at the museum at 6 p.m.
If you have not seen Hidden Colors for the religion of white supremacy, I am telling you, it is a great wrap up to the other three films. I feel like it's the advanced work course. If you've seen 1 and 2 and 3, you'll definitely understand what's going on in 4. If you have not seen any of the films prior to 4, I would advise you to do so prior to coming out on Saturday, because it's a lot of information. And if you haven't seen 1, 2, or 3, to get some of that preliminary knowledge, to get some of that, knowledge that you're not going to get in school. You didn't get it in your history curriculum. So it's all new knowledge that's going to completely blow you away. I don't care if you're Black. I don't care if you're Mexican. I don't care if you're Dominican, Puerto Rican. This film is for everybody, because you are in this film. Everybody's in this film. So.
Yeah, I really look forward to it.
I love it. Have you seen it yet?
No, I've seen 1.
Goodness.
But I've done a lot of reading, so I think I should be able to see 4.
No, you'll be fine. You're an adult. You got this. You got this. I'm talking to them young ones, those little 23-year-olds that want to come out and see it and don't know their real history. You'll come out and have your feelings hurt.
So how much time do we have left?
Like 3 minutes.
Okay, so I want to just throw in one more thing.
Yeah, come on.
I want to throw in about the election. I want people to understand something. People talk about the Supreme Court is at stake, but more than that is at stake. They have been warehousing federal judgeships. The Republicans have refused to allow Obama to appoint his federal judges. So if Donald Trump gets it, he's going to not only appoint a Supreme Court judge, but also all these dozens, maybe even hundreds of federal judgeships across the country will be appointed by the Republican Party. So people who are on the fence about voting or not voting, you talk about Marilyn Mosby, all that comes together in one circle. And you've got to get out there and do what you can do, because these are our lives are at stake. And the last thing I like to say is, do check out BG. BEJI. Yeah, the Black Economic Justice Institute, because they're trying to make a difference on Blue Hill Avenue to bring about some kind of a project that can enhance this community and make it a better place for all of us, because they too are active in the efforts to curtail gentrification. And they want to look at possibly a business project. They want the community to get involved. So go on their website, Black Economic Justice Institute, and you'll find out information about BG.
And one more time, what is the website?
The Black Economic Justice Institute.
And how do we contact you? How do we reach you?
Andrea, ANDREA, Manny, MANNY, Paid, PAYNE, at yahoo.com. Andrea Manny Paid at yahoo.com.
And how do we contact you if we want to learn how to get in contact with those that may have passed? Is it something that we can do on our own? Do we have to go through you? Like, how do we learn that process?
Well, the post-death process that I talked about is described in a book called The Paralegal Exorcist. But you just contact me, and I will get back to you. Someone contacted me after the last show.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I said to her, call me, and she didn't call me. So I don't know, you have to have a discussion about this. It's not something you can email about. And what I want to do is I want to do a ritual honoring our ancestors in August. I'm going to try to get Miss Tayla involved here.
So what was this about?
There's a process called, I'm stealing it, borrowing it from New York, Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
This man does an annual tribute to the ancestors every second Saturday in June. And I want to bring that here to Boston.
Okay.
And what we do is we just gather for a day of drumming, dancing, sharing our poetry. It's all free. You go to the ocean. You have to be in the Atlantic Ocean. Drumming, chanting, sharing our poetry, dancing, sharing who we are, lifting up the spirit of the ancestors. And then at dusk, well, not dusk, but sunset or somewhere around there, you walk into the ocean. Everybody walks into the ocean together.
Yeah, we're going to have to do this away from Carson Beach.
Yeah, in a process, and they're carrying flowers and fruits and vegetables. And what they're doing is they're remembering
that our ancestors
who passed in the Middle Passage. But having read this book and having had this post-death experience, we can expand it to help people who've lost their children here now. This is something you can do to help them on their journey.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
I'm going to see if I can get a permit. I don't know, but I'm sure somebody can help me find where is the best beach to do this so we can have some privacy. And just have to get a permit to do it.
So I love this beach. It's rather far, but it is so amazing and it's not rocky. I go to Duxbury Beach. So I know people would have to need a vehicle for that one. But we can go by the carloads.
Where's
and go in.
Duxbury?
It's one of the richest towns in Massachusetts, and we can just go invade their space.
Now, somebody told me about this, someplace over by UMass Boston. You know?
Yeah, that's Carson Beach, and I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go in that water if you paid me.
Okay.
At all.
So whatever it is, we'll have to plan it. You have to get a permit because there'll probably be like 60, 70 of us if people really get into this. This is the spirit. This is how you reclaim yourself. This is how you give yourself back to yourself. This is how you change the energy dynamics in this area. By chanting, by drumming, by going out in nature and honoring what has transpired. And grieving and healing and laughing and singing and chanting and coming together.
So really quick question. Shout out to my West Indians. I have friends who during Christmas and Thanksgiving, for those that have died, will make a plate and leave it on the table for 24 hours. I know in Buddhist religion, they give offerings of like fruits and vegetables. Anytime you've ever been to the nail shop, they got a little orange next to Buddha. So can you quickly explain why do we offer food? Why do we offer libations? Why do we offer these things? You know, sometimes when you're honoring spirits or you're honoring spirit guides, you offer flowers and oils. When they're across the veil, why do we offer these things?
Well, I think it's just people's practices, and maybe there's some validity in it. I don't know if they need it or not because they're living a very different life. You know, what happens is that we have made everything very human, but they have gone onto the spirit world, and they may not need that. But in the spirit world, there are, you know, there's flowers and there's other things. So this is our way of saying we remember you and we're feeding you, and that's the whole idea. Is a symbolic gift. We're giving something, not just of our talk, but we're giving of our labors, and we're saying you matter so much to us that we're going to give you the fruit of our labors. And we literally give them food, and we literally give them flowers, and as you said, oils and whatever. They may not need it. Maybe that's just what we need to feel like we're doing. But what you can do really is what you do, Tayla. When your uncle shows up, now you sit with him. When you're in that shower, now you sing that song, but you dedicate it to someone who's passed on.
Okay.
See? So you dedicate it to your children, to whoever is here. You set it out to this. This is what Tayla is doing now in the shower or wherever you do it for the community. And I'm also lifting it up for this person who's passed on, this ancestor, because I'm remembering it. And that person can now connect easier way of connecting with you because you're connecting with that person.
Mm.
You're making it easy to have that two-way connection. It's like if I'm sitting here, well, this doesn't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they're banging on our heads, but we don't know. So your uncle is coming along and he's like, I'm leaving my set, Tayla, come on.
I'm trying to talk to you, girl.
Yeah,
Like, I can hear him too. Like, hey, you hear me talking to you. Like,
Yeah,
aw.
listen, take a piece of paper and write down what he says. Just listen. It's right there. I have a story, but we're out of time. So
But you'll be
I can't
back.
tell you.
We'll be back because we love having you on. Great energy, great vibrations. I have something for you, Miss Andrea Payne. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I love you. I appreciate you. And I love me some minister, reverend, healer. She's all of that. Miss Andrea Payne. If you missed any of today's show, head over to YouTube. Head over to Facebook Live. We had to cut Facebook Live a little short today because the phone was overheating and the battery needed to be charged. But head over to YouTube, and I'll go ahead and post the show on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page. But we're going to get into something from Miss Andrea Payne because I love her oh so much. You ready?
Ready.
Can I get it on my